Hello, Coshocton, and welcome back to another edition of Now You're Talking with me, Jessi Marcincavage. And as always, I try to get great guests on every week. Now remember, we go live on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock in the morning on www.coshoctontv.com. Coshocton's online TV station. And I don't know if you can see in front of me or not, but to kind of give you a description as to what we're going to be talking about today. And just be glad you're on the other side of the camera today for this one. And we have some ladies from the Coshocton Gun Club here with us to talk about conceal and carry. There's also a ladies club at the Coshocton Gun Club too as well. And we're talking about maybe there's some rules you need to know and why it is important to have a conceal and carry license, which I know it's amazing, but I do have my conceal and carry license too. And these women are Susan Conkle and also Laura Grogro, and they too have their conceal and carry. And let's first start off with why do you feel it's important? Let's first start off with the ladies shooting club at the Coshocton Gun Club. Who can participate? Who's it open to?
Okay, every third Wednesday of the month. The range is reserved just for women. Indoor or outdoor, it depends on the weather, on where we're going to be. Any lady can come out and shoot. If they have a gun, bring their own gun and ear and eye protection. If they have them, if not, come on out anyhow if they're interested. You can come out for several times to kind of see if that's what you want to do or not before joining the club. And then after a while, you'll be required to join the gun club, unless an immediate member of your family is already a member.
What kind of fulfillment do you get out of being part of the ladies shooting league? What does it feel like to go out there and shoot some rounds off?
It's a lot of fun.
It's just fun. It's just fun. It can be a competition with yourself to help you to see if you can get better each time you go out, to see if you can get better and get closer to the target, to kind of compete with your friends. But since you're shooting away, no one's going to get hurt, no one's going to have any kind of a problem as long as everyone follows all the rules. So it's just a lot of fun.
Now, Laura, I'm going to admit something. When I first called Susan and we talked about coming on the talk show and she mentioned your name, I'm like, really? Laura shoots a gun and she has her conceal and carry?
I can
really?
a lot.
Wow, okay. So it's amazing. You know, you can look at somebody and it's a lot of strong women are getting their conceal and carry license. And why do you think that is these days?
Well, there are several reasons, Jessi. I think, first of all, in this day and age, women need to protect themselves as much as anyone else. Sometimes, I know my husband used to work night shift, and I had small children. And I know that you probably read some of the stories online or heard on the radio about how women have had to protect their children. And that's one reason. But the big reason is it's just a lot of fun, and it helps you to build your confidence. Just like any sport, you go out and try it. If it's fun, if it's easy enough for you to do, you build your confidence, you keep getting better at it. And the first time I went out to shoot, it had been like, my dad taught me when I was like a small child. And I believe every child needs to learn the gun safety and to understand what the gun is all about so that they can protect themselves whenever they find one. But I hadn't shot for we won't say how many years. And the first time I went out, I amazed myself. And I was just like, yes, I could do this again. So it's just a confidence builder.
Susan, when did you fall in love with guns and shooting?
I grew up around guns. My family never had handguns. My husband did when we were first married. We went out and shoot the revolvers and stuff just for some fun and just kind of never got back into it. And the opportunity came up to take the concealed carry class. My husband already has his, and I decided it was time that I needed to do that too. And then I just found out it's really a lot of fun. It's just not about personal protection. And a lot of women continue on in the shooting sports once they learn about the guns.
So there is a kind of a competition world out there with ladies and shooting and
Right now, most of us are fairly new at this and just practicing a lot. But the NRA has a lot of programs for women in shooting sports that we plan to get into once we get a group of women together. It's consistent. Right now, we have anywhere from 2 of us to 7 of us on any given third Wednesday of the month.
All right. And any lady can come out and do that. What time does it start?
6:30.
6:30.
6:30?
Yeah. 6:30
On
to
the-
8:30.
The third Wednesday of every month.
Third Wednesday of every month. What are some of the basic things that you should know when handling a gun? Because a lot of people, sometimes they're afraid. Do you know what I mean? They've been given a negative rap, kind of, and they're afraid when they see a gun. They feel threatened. You know, what are some of the basic handling that you should know? And we'll also go over some rules of the conceal and carry, too, because Ohio has, not other states, have the same rules as Ohio with conceal and carry. What are some of the basic things that you have here, Laura, out here for us on guns and safety and the accessories?
Well, first of all, there are 4 basic rules. First of all, and I'm going to, so I don't forget, I'm going to refer to my sheet. You always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. And you never know what's on the other side of a wall. So you need to make sure that you know what's over there. If you're out in a field, make sure you know what's beyond where you can see, because the bullet may go further than what you think it will. And always keep your finger off the trigger. And we were taught when you're learning how to shoot, you have to know how to focus and line everything up and sight it in. For example, my gun has a sight down here, and there's a sight back here. So you have to be able to sight it in. And when you're sighting it in, you need to be able to put it to your eye and look through it. So you put your finger on the side and not on the trigger. That's really important whenever you're picking up a gun, is never put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot it. And always keep a gun unloaded until it's ready to use. Like with this one, I have my magazine is out of the gun, so it will not fire. And the other thing is to always know that, I mentioned before, know what's beyond your target, so that you don't accidentally shoot something that you hadn't intended to.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to getting your concealed carry, the most important thing is that you have to go through a gun safety course, a concealed carry course. And that can only be taught by a certified instructor. And in Ohio, we have certain ways of going about that. Every state's a little different. There are some states that have reciprocity. That means that you can carry back and forth to that state, and some states do not have reciprocity with Ohio. And once you go through the course, you have to pass the test at the end of the course, take your certificate of completion down to the local sheriff's department, and give them their money. They always have to have their money. Give them the fee that goes along with that. And of course, you have to have passed the course. They send it off. They have to do a background check. That usually takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. And no longer than 45 days. You get it back, you get your little card, and you're good to go.
All right. Now, with ladies and carrying, sometimes it's hard to conceal. But there's also very cute purses that we can get that lend you the opportunity to conceal, but also in fashion.
Yes.
So this is Laura's, and a very fashionable purse. And Laura, can you tell me where you would hide the gun in that purse?
In this purse, there are a lot of purses that have a side where you can stick it in, and as you're carrying it, it's going to be over on this side. So you're always going to carry a shoulder purse on the left side if you're right-handed, so you can pull it out easily that way. Now this particular one does not have that, but I wanted to show that there are pockets that you can conceal. For example, you could put a gun in here. No one's going to know that it's in there. You could put it also in a pocket in here, and no one's going to know what's in there. The most important thing when it comes to concealing in a purse is that in the particular pocket that you're using, nothing else can be in that pocket, because if anything else is in the pocket, then you run the risk of the gun going off by accident.
Okay. Now, Laura, you're telling me before the show that you can also transport guns on a plane. There's a specific process you have to go through.
That's correct.
What did you have to do for that?
Just recently, my husband and I went to Houston to visit my son who lives there. And my first inclination was I wanted to take my gun with me. I mean, Texas is a big gun state. We were going to go shooting. And at the last minute, I decided not to. But I did go through the process of getting that secured. One of the things that you have to do is you have to find out from the airline that you're flying on what their specific rules are, because they do change from airline to airline. We flew Southwest, and according to Southwest, all you have to do is have it locked in a safe. Now, this is a gun safe, and the gun safe that I have has it's a number lock. It's not a key lock, so no one at the in the airline is going to open it by accident or on purpose. And so I know that my gun's going to be safe while it's in there. So as I go in, I have to show the gun to them, lock it, put it in my checked baggage, not the carry-on, and then it goes into the security system. I have to follow it to the security where it's checked, open it again for that security person, and it goes through. You cannot carry it on the plane with you, but you can take it if it's in the locked safe in your checked baggage.
What are some also the other rules when you get your conceal and carry? Because in order to be able to fire your gun in a situation, you really truly have to feel threatened. What are some of the other basic rules before you're allowed firing a weapon in a certain situation?
Do you want to answer that? Do you want me to? Okay. If you're in a situation, first of all, it's when you're talking about a concealed carry, most people, when they're carrying a gun on their person, it's loaded. It has at least one bullet in it. So you have to be very careful when you're pulling it out. So we have to practice pulling it out of your pocket. For example, mine, I could fit it in my pocket just like this, but it's going to really show. So you can put it in a holster. The nice thing about this holster is the holster will stay in your pocket, and then you pull it out, and it's not going to, the holster is not going to come out with it. The other part of that is that you have to be, your person has to be threatened.
Or someone else.
Or someone else. Someone needs to be threatened personally, not property. That's the big issue, because in some states, you can protect property. In Ohio, that's not the case. It has to be person. You have to be feeling personally threatened. So when we first started learning how to shoot in that kind of a situation, it was interesting to me because we were so close to the target. It's like, why are we so close? Anybody could hit that target. You know, we're like this far away. But if you're going to be threatened, it's not going to be someone that's half a mile down the road. You're going to see them this close. And so you need to be able to react that quickly.
Okay. Laura, anything else that you'd like to add about conceal and carry or the Ladies Shooting Club before we get into the website and how to become a member?
I just think anyone who is interested in having fun and doing something a little bit different, thinking outside of the box. I am a big thinker outside of the box. I don't think any woman should feel like they are confined to being a certain way. If you feel like guns would be something you'd like to try, just come out and try it. We have extras there. You can just shoot one of ours and just get a feel for it. If you don't have to bring your own, just see what it's like for it.
And we are by no means experts on guns,
No.
but we have a certified instructor on site with us when we're out there, and he is very helpful. Usually it's the same person all the time. He's extremely helpful, and he makes you feel comfortable. But if you don't feel comfortable with the man, we'll be glad to help anybody out. We know enough about guns to help fire gun, and they can try different guns, try ours, and see what it is they're comfortable with, because that's really important to find a gun that you're comfortable with.
Right, that fits right in your hands and
yes.
your palm and everything, definitely. Susan, where's the website in case people want to find more information about the Coshocton Gun Club?
Okay, it's www.coshoctongunclub.com. There's a lot of information on there, and there's information about becoming a member. The process of filling out, you have to fill out an application and be approved. You must have a clean criminal record. Sponsored by 2 current members that are in good standing. And you have to be a member of the NRA. Currently, dues are $50 a year, and the first year is an additional $25 initiation fee.
Okay. Ladies, anything else that you would like to add before we end? Now you're talking.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Well, once again, that was Susan Conkle and also Laura Grogro with the Ladies Shooting Club at the Coshocton Gun Club. And you are watching Now You're Talking with me, Jessi Marcincavage, on www.coshoctontv.com, Coshocton's online TV station.